Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They tear their head off, nigga. I read what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that off blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening. Is in fact the fear for revenge with a woman. Now I scope that bitch like Jack and Ryan War. We gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers. Hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't be do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Doing life sentence for my niggas. Pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real? Trigger on them dots, you a bird feeder. Claiming he a demon, what's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit light. It ain't on who got the gun, it's on who gon' up their fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never right the hand and feet, you will never get that hand back. Bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow son. Yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville. You feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost. They gon' start to call it Bell Run. Fuck his gang. Pop out on them demons like I'm hell, boy.
Shalom. Shalom, shalom. Clap it up. Yeah, welcome to our Sunday afternoon scripture breakdown class, ISUPK Jamaica. All right, this is ISUPK Jamaica, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. ISUPK today run by Commander General YAHANNA, the man of the rank, and the authority to lead the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Yahweh Basha Mewashai Barakatah to the brothers, Yahweh Shama Anatan Basha Mewashai to the sisters. Welcome to our Sunday afternoon scripture breakdown. All right, what we're breaking down? We're breaking down what the scripture says about we, blacks, Hispanics, and natives, who are the Israelites of the Bible, telling us that this world was created for our sakes. Now, the word world has two meanings. The word world, can go and do this thing. World means age and our society. And there are times when people are, in the scripture, they use the word world to refer to the earth. But in general, world refers to an age or a society. So the world, today you hear people talk about, people be a person being in their own world. You hear that people talk about sea world, the water world. People talk about the age that we're living in. What they're referring to is a period of time, or who is ruling at that time. Now the scripture talk about who is ruling the earth at a particular time. And this particular time is really what most of us call the end times. So, you hear people talk about the end of the world. As a matter of fact, that is the most famous thing people talk about, the end of the world. While Christians erroneously interpret it to mean the end of the earth, as if the Most High is going to cast away the earth as you see it and rebuild another earth. There's nothing in the Bible to to substantiate that. The Bible does speak of the end of about the end of a world, but it's talking about the end of an age, because it explains in other books, who will be ruling when that time come and who is going to take over after that time. After who is ruling at that time, right? And if we should go to book of Second Esdras, I think, Second Esdras 6, and say reading from say what, 7.
You ready?
Online. All right, let's find that. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 6. Esdras was one of the high priests of the Israelites in the time when, well, it was Judah at the time, but it's the time when we were in captivity. We were in the Persian captivity at the time. The Babylonians had passed, and the Persians, I think, was ruling. And Esdras, who was a high priest, start asking the Most High a bag of questions. All right. So one of the questions that Esdras asked was, "What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?" Meaning, if you read from 1 to 6, it will tell you what coming up to this. So Esdras now was questioning the Most High. He had a vision. Esdras had many visions. Esdras was really loved by the Most High. The Most High showed him a whole lot of things and tell him, put it in a book. And for some reason, I just feel like those books are presently sitting at the Vatican, somewhere in Rome, because Rome was the one who overran us after put an end to our kingdom. And Rome took a whole lot of our artifacts and our things and put it and carried back to Rome. And no doubt, as a matter of fact, I think I heard them, some of them mentioning, Rome have a section there where they talk about, what the word the Americans and sort of talk about, classified. So I have a section where Vatican classified things go, and then a section where they say, no, that's a classified, like you would have said, no, that is more classified than even the classified section. So I have a feeling that's where they hide our most, or a lot of our writings and, things about us, or artifacts and things. They have a lot of it in the Vatican, which is why they are able to rule over us until now, because if you can remember, when Donald Trump was president, you had a priest from the Vatican who was in Donald Trump's clique, or whenever I have meeting and things, that priest would have been present. Who knows what purpose was what was his purpose? But one thing was certain that he would have, reiterate to the politicians, the way to govern. And of course, the way to govern is for them to govern is to keep pressure on us. Because they understand that when we rise, they fall. And realize that. Rome had realized that from the time when, I think it was Nero, they said, told a lie on the Christians and burn Rome. I don't remember which other Roman emperor, if it was Nero. I don't remember exactly which one. But one of them Roman emperor had burned down Rome and told lies on the Christian, that it was the Christians who did it. Because he realized that Rome was losing power and losing strength because of the presence of the Christian, and Christians was rising at the time. And him couldn't legally do them anything. So him tell a lie on them. Burn down the place and say, it's the Christians who do it, get them. All right. So, from then until now, there was a time when they went under and Europe went into the what they call it again? Dark Ages. But the Dark Ages, now they tell you a lie, like the Dark Ages was when, knowledge was obscure and they didn't have much knowledge up there. But the Dark Ages was really when the dark people was ruling over Europe. And if you look at the Eastern Roman Empire, which you have now, Russia and the Soviet bloc, even until today, they still have the Black Christ and the black icons of the Bible. And then you have the Western Roman Empire now, which evolved into who they are today. The Greeks, the Spain, England, France, Germany, all of them, all the whites were Romans. They're all Romans. But there was a time when Rome split and became Eastern Roman. It became the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. So we were ruling one and the whites were ruling the other. So the Most High had shown Esdras a whole lot of things. I think the writing came, Esdras writing in the scriptures now, you just have first and second Esdras, but when you read Esdras, it seems as if it was way more than that. But that's what made it to the scriptures today. And there are still They are found in the Apocrypha, and the Apocrypha, as you know, was banned by the church. You know, can you imagine a set of people taking out a part of your history and tell you that don't read this part. You know, just like now they're telling you forget about slavery. I mean, how can somebody tell you? It's like they're saying, forget your grandmother. How somebody can tell me to forget my history? You don't have that right. I have the right to remember my history. Just like how you of another race have the right to remember your history. But that's what happened with the scriptures because the Bible is really just it's not the Bible is not really a religious book, it's just a record of a set of people. It's a record, but it's called the Holy Bible because holy means separate. It's a set of records which is separate from all other records in the face of the earth. There's none second to it. Right? Which is why them other races take it and make gospel out of it because they realize even though a lot of things was changed and lost and probably mixed up during translation to English and because of the many different um, wars that we went through, a lot of the records lost, but we still have enough records that make it to the last days that is able to guide us back to the Most High, right? So Esdras is one of those books. So in the book of Esdras, we see where Esdras was asking the Most High, how is he going to know when, you know, the changings of the time? And the time he's talking about is, ruling of the world, or what Christians say, the end of the world. So, but the end of the world that the scripture really talk about is the end of Esau's world, the end of when Esau's people, the Edomites, will be ruling the world. So he asks the question, when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of that which follow it? And the Most High did not leave him hanging. The Most High did give him an answer. Right? God did give him an answer. And the answers get verse 8, 2 Ezra 6 and 8. Let me check if anybody joining yet. The Most High did give him an answer, and the answer God says, from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Who was Jacob, or who had Jacob and Esau? Who can remember that? Esau and Jacob. Who was Esau and Jacob's father? When old time people pray, like in the Bible, they used to say, God of Abraham, what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So who would be Jacob's father? Who would be Jacob's direct father, not grandfather? You pray and say, Abraham, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So Jacob's father would be who? Isaac. So Isaac would be Jacob's father. So here now we say now, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, was born of Isaac. So Esau was also, who is the Edomites today, was also Isaac's father. But the promise that was made to Abraham to give Abraham's seed the land was manifested through Jacob. If you remember, same thing that happened with Abraham. Abraham had Ishmael before he had Isaac. And Ishmael's mother think that the promise would be through him. But the promise was made to Rebecca as well. Rebecca. The Abraham wife name again, Sarah, was made to Sarah as well. So Sarah had told Abraham to run out, get Isaac out, and the Most High tell him, don't be afraid to do it, because in Isaac my seed shall be called. We can find that. And that is what. All right, we can use the one in the New Testament, Romans 9 and 7. Why we're using that one? Because it is still relevant. It being shown in the New Testament show that it was still relevant. But I know many of you Christians going to say, that is from the Old Testament. Yeah, it was in the Old Testament, but it was also stated again in the New Testament, in the book of Romans, chapter 9, and verse 7. And what is the significance of this now? Romans 9 and 7 says, all right, let me straighten up this thing. Neither, Romans 9 and 7 will say no, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. Because what is happening in the Middle East today is all of them saying they are Abraham's seed, which is true. The Arabs were sons of Ishmael, and those that are in the land, the Israelis as well, who is some of Esau's children, they are sons of Abraham, which was why they had formed what they had called up there Abrahamic Accord, something like that, which the Egyptians are not sons of Abraham. The Egyptians are Hamites, but the ones that are ruling over Egypt now are Arabs. They are so it's not the Africans that are really ruling Egypt now. It's the Arabs that are ruling Egypt. So the ruling class in Egypt is really sons of Abraham. But you have to really come to the University of ISUPK to learn all these things the right way, or else you're going to believe that, oh, so if the Egyptians are sons of Abraham, but the Egyptians couldn't be the sons of Abraham because they were before Abraham. If you remember the story with Abraham, Abraham went into Egypt, and so did the 12 tribes. So they were before. But you have other races who had rule over them. because I think at the time, anyways, when I get into that part. So in Romans, which can be found in the Old Testament as well, the Most High had told Abraham, yeah, you can run out Ishmael because in Isaac my seed shall be called. Alright, so second is just 6 now, verse 9. So Isaac had 2 sons. One was called Esau, and the other one called Jacob. And if you remember the story with Esau and Jacob, they were wrestling in the womb and so on and so forth. Which we're going to get to, I think, in the next. Is it so? How we're going to get to it? All right. We started at 8. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that, of it not follow it. So the Most High now was explaining to Esdras the significance of the Esau's birth with Jacob when they were wrestling in the womb, and when they were born, Esau came out first, and Jacob was holding onto his heel. The Most High explained to Esdras that and you see how long after it was explained? From the time Esau born coming down to Esdras, couple hundred years, probably about 1,000 years. Because we did 400 years in Egypt. Yeah. Approximately 1,000 years after it was explained, that birth, which is over 3,000 years, almost 4,000 years old now. And now we are in the time when what the Most High told Esdras is about to manifest, because it's Esau's descendants that is ruling the world now. They are the ones that were blessed with the sword. Meaning, the sword today is the various weapons of war, the bombs and instruments of war. Esau is the one who is blessed with that, which is why them, if you notice, between America and Russia, they have the baddest set of equipment. Looking in Middle East. How do you think the Iranians then get them weapons and things? Well, get them from Russia. And how do you think King Jong-un get them nuclear and so on? Russia again. So all them nations who have them bad weapons and get it from one side of Esau's generation. Either Russia or from America. Both of them is Esau. Like I said, one was the Eastern Roman Empire and one was the Western Roman Empire. But the two of them is the same thing today. And they are going to join again before this world, the world as we know it, end. Before this age pass, they are going to join again. Just before Christ return. Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of that which follows. All right, let me go to the part that would explain this next verse. Right. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. So he was explaining the birth of Esau and Jacob. Other question Esdras asked thou not. All right, so we'll go back to verse, I think, 7. think 7. You know, anyway, I need to go to 7. It explains that the hand of man is betwixt the hand of man is betwixt the hand the heel and the hand. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Let me see if it comes up here. Oh, still there's still a show notes. Hey, Shalom, Officer Sawab.
Yes, whatever. Yeah, I just moving out about a little bit now, so you can always respond about right here, right?
Okay, all right, Shalom. I'm going to leave your thing here up so when you're ready, you just chip in.
Okay.
So you
You
can
have
put your
somebody
mic.
read there? You have
Repeat?
somebody read there? If you have
La,
somebody
la,
read there.
la answer.
Okay. Okay.
You can just put your mic on
You can always.
mute until you're ready to chip in.
All right, that's good.
Answer.
All right. And you little on time, I can always read there if you want, right?
Okay. THAWADAH, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, so it's saying that, where am I? Read back this. 2 Ezra 6 and 10, the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. So, you know, we're going to see the heel and the hand being played out now. Because who is running things now? Esau's generation running things. Who is under pressure now? Crying out for justice. Yeah, we crying out for justice under their rule in America, the Caribbean, North and South America. The Palestinians think that they are, you know, think that their case is unique. What they are going through now is what we had gone through for the past 400 years. They bomb, well, they didn't have the bombs and the weapons, the instruments of war like they have now. But the ones that they had then, like, you know, what they call that one there again? Cannon and so on. Yeah, man. We feel many of them cannon and bullet and sword. And this is a nation that is blessed by the sword. So the police, I hear the Arabs them saying something like, if Israel, the Israelis believe that they are going to, you know, bomb out the Palestinians, and then in the end, you know, everybody will hold back their hand and sing Kumbaya. Well, it is a Kumbaya, you know, it's going to be peace after. Well, if you can continue taking bombs, then but how long can you take? How long can you be in warfare? They're using all kind of all weapons of war against the Palestinians. Starvation. Starvation have been a weapon of war from biblical days, from Bible days. In fact, the Most High told us that things like that will happen. Man, go and besiege your city, and you faint in the street because you can't get water and you can't get food. Yeah, and that's what happened to is happening to the Palestinians. All right, so jump to the next scripture now. Second Esdras, drop down to same Second Esdras 17. Do I need to read that book? Drop down to verse 17. All right, so our TikTok viewers, you know, how much viewers do I have? I can't even, I don't know. But welcome to all my viewers on TikTok. You try to tell me that you kick out my live. Live is not live. Okay. Welcome to our TikTok viewers. ISUPK Jamaica Sunday Scripture Breakdown class. Yeah. Just like we say, we're talking about the Most High's people being the Most High's people being the to be the beginning of who should rule this earth after these white men, after these Edomites take out each other. Yeah, man, and it's that great weapon they're going to use to take out them one another. See, what I call it? Nuclear. Yeah. All right, so we are still in Second Esdras. We'll drop down to 17. All right, so in verse 17, let's see if it's on this. Second Esdras. Second Esdras 6 and 17. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up on my feet, and hearkened, meaning listen. And behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. A loud, husky voice. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So the Most High is telling you that his spirit, his presence will be among those that dwell on the earth in the last days here, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have erred unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion should be fulfilled. Verse 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away. If you're following the YouTube, a lot of dialogue on YouTube about America, the American Empire, and about Europe and things. You know, the ones that are honest will tell you that the West is not as strong as it once was, and that the West knows that they are getting competition, so their world is actually vanishing away, meaning they don't have the sole power in the world again. There was a time when the hegemony in this world, meaning the power that you follow, would have been the West. You hear they talk about a multipolar world now, meaning it's not just the West and Russia idea of rulership you're listening to. You have the Chinese, and you have other nations, so everybody forming their own as well, right? So it's vanishing away, just like the scripture says, the Most High know things, the Most High said things. So this was written probably 2,500 years ago, almost 500 years before Christ. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So he's telling you the things that will happen, begins to happen. The more Esau's world, Esau losing grip on his empire, and his ideology of rulership is vanishing away. People talk about democracy and things, but how did they rule? How do they rule the West? One, their money. It's only countries like Jamaica, our money is said to be pegged to the US dollar, which means when they go down, we go on to. But if you realize in the world, people moving away from the US dollar because they realize that is pulling down their economy. Because all these countries, they just rule the world for a time. There was a time when it was England. It is called the British Empire. The British Empire was said to be from sea to shining sea, and sun never set on the British Empire, meaning somewhere along the earth, the sun is rising on this side, it's setting over there. There's a British colony over here when the sun is rising, and by the time it's set over here and rise over here, there's a British colony over there. So they say the talk was sun never set on the British Empire. Same thing gonna happen when we ruling. Sun never set on the kingdom of heaven. Sun never set on Christ's empire. But the most I want it this way, because all these nations who come up and rule the Most High's people, they rule with what you call it now. They are terror rulers. All right, we can drop into the book of Isaiah. All right, so we jump into Isaiah 14. Book of Isaiah chapter 14. We're going to start from verse 1. So in Isaiah now, the Most High went on to say things like, telling you that, share this time, that the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. No, I mean, look at the plight of our people and tell me that we don't really need mercy. Look at blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Huh? We're killing each other. We're doing all the bad things. We are the footstool of every other nation, right? The other nations, you ever hear the term take step off somebody, take disadvantage of somebody? That's us. And that is only happening because the Most High is allowing it. But he is saying that the time will come that he will show us mercy. That he, the Lord, shall have mercy upon Jacob and will choose Israel and set them in their own land. So that time will come again where, you won't be around this earth and be called squatters and be called all sort of things because you can't buy the expensive prime land. So guess what? Moses is telling you now that you're going to be the owner of these prime lands in this earth from sea to shining sea. Right? From sea to shining sea, we will be the owner of prime lands everywhere, right across the world. Especially in our own land, which is, from where the land now that you call the Israel, where the Israelis are, all the way up to the Euphrates River. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Okay, we don't finish one yet. Salaki, we don't finish one of it. Verse 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So the house of Jacob is, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. So the Most High is telling us that these are the nations right in the time when Esau being the end of the world, and right when we take over rulership, because Esau is going to destroy himself with them nuclear, right? Christ shall step in to remove his people, and they are going to destroy themselves. And right after that, what happened? Right after that is Jacob's children ruling. And Jacob's children will take those other nations who fight against Christ into captivity. And it is nowhere different today. I mean, when you ever hear the term prisoner of war, it's happening in Gaza, it's happening in the West Bank, it's happening in the Ukraine, the Russia and Ukraine war, prisoners of war. But these prisoners of war will be taken captive and made to serve, to go and rebuild this earth and to rebuild our kingdom that their forefathers had destroyed. It was their forefathers that destroyed our kingdom. Right? And they are them even today, they are still perpetrators with their foot on your neck. They still destroy what we have, find ways of taking it away, and believing that it's all good and dandy. Because one thing with Esau, when he fight against you, it's sometimes difficult to find hands on him and say, is him do it. Just like in the time when CIA was operating in Jamaica. All people knows that you go to shop and you can't get certain foods to buy. Right? They know that they were eating too much cornmeal. But they didn't even think to say that, but corn don't grow in Jamaica. So how cornmeal come into Jamaica and the other things can't come? You understand? We weren't, and this is what Esau realized about human nature. You being hungry, you don't have the time for deep thought and to think things out. Your greatest thought now is to satisfy this hunger. So we out here was not able to think and say, corn don't grow in Jamaica, so how so much cornmeal come into Jamaica? Why flour and other things couldn't come to Jamaica? Flour, rice, and other things. Why is only cornmeal? But it was deliberate. At the time when they were making the economy squeal. But as far as our people know, it was the government who was in power at the time that was doing it. When now we read the history and read what the CIA might reveal, then we know that it was sabotage. It was because it doesn't really matter what government you be, you still buy, you have to buy the things. And who you buy it from not selling you the thing that you should, you're not going to let the people fully starve. So if they make cornmeal available, then what are you going to end up with? Cornmeal. So people end up with what? Cornmeal and what? Chicken back? Why the whole pot chicken back and cornmeal? And it was ship that brought them here. So why the same ship couldn't carry the other things? So that is how Esau rule. In those things, it's difficult to point hands on him. But now, what he's doing now, especially in say Gaza, he can't hide behind hide behind closed door. Sorry, and drop bomb. So everybody know that the Americans is the one feeding the Israelis with the bombs, and the Israelis are the ones dropping the bombs out in the open. So bit by bit, the man of sin, just like the scripture says, is being revealed. So once more, welcome to all these viewers on TikTok. What else, we see one Judith, we see one Warrior, Godfather, Anthony, welcome to you all. If you have a question, I can type it in, and see if I can hopefully pick up on any question you have. Question preferably pertaining to the topic that we're on. All right. So back to Isaiah now. So the Most High is saying, let me see if back here. Let me see what is happening on my page. So drop down to verse 3 now. Oh, we're going to finish 2. And the people shall take them, bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. Same place up there where the war is going on now. That's called the land of the Lord. That's the Most High's real estate that he take in this earth. For servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, right? Take them all prisoners of wars, whose captive they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So those who oppressing us now, the Most High says he will give the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans rulership over those that are oppressing you. In other words, the table going to turn. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou hast made to serve. So you tell me now that what you're going through now is not hard. Of course, you're going through some. The majority of the blacks in Jamaica here, live in, they use the term grassroots people, but they're living in inner city. And then call them in America, they say projects out here, we say ghetto or we say inner city. Alright? We don't even call it village. Village is more organized. A village have a village ruler, or elders that rule over the village. Who rule over the inner city and the ghetto? Some political, they call them area leader. Area leaders rule over ghetto. All politics. So no generational transition of leadership and guiding the people to anything. All they do is guiding the people to some political ideology. So the politics right now is saying back to slavery. Guess what? That's what the era leader then go and push on the people. And say, yeah, what? Better if we go back in a slavery because whatever reason they want to do. And we know that in the end, if the Most High should allow them to subjugate the world again, you know what they're going to do? Perpetual slavery. That is what they're going to think of for us. They're not going, no time going to come when they're going to talk about free the slaves. That's not going to happen. And guess what? That is what is going to catch them. Put them into perpetual servitude. Because they are going to prove to this earth that they are not worthy to be rulers in this earth. Right? How can you be ruler in this earth and you are destroying the earth? If you rule over something, what is the sense in ruling over something and destroying it? Think of you building a platform up there in the sky and you walking on that platform. The platform is what is keeping you up there and preventing you from falling to the ground. And at the same time, you are destroying the platform. At the same time, you are destroying the platform that you're, the very ground that you are walking on. show you that you are not worthy. You know, you're not worthy to rule or lead anybody or anything. If if you follow big talk now coming in on the internet now, people, especially YouTube and stuff, people googling nuclear war hard and wanting to learn about the nuclear or nuclear is fought. The president of the United States have the sole author. You know, they can just decide overnight and go and attack a country. They have this nuclear, what do they call it? Call it a protocol. They say, all right, a nuclear state should not attack a non-nuclear state with nuclear weapons. But suppose they feel to do it. What's there to stop them? Who's going to bring them to justice? Which is why what we're reading in the scripture now, you realize the Most High is saying, He is going to do this, He is going to do that, because it's only Him can bring these people to justice. The former international criminal court, and that international criminal court can bring none of them to justice. That international criminal court is like you have a dog and look fierce, but you extract the teeth. So it's pure gummy mouth, no bite.
Hey,
Yeah,
Salah here for me.
yeah, cancer. Shalom, yeah, what's your Shabbat?
Yes, I'm sure that you highlight some real heavy dinner, right? And
Right,
it's like just like we draw reference with this beast now. Imagine you could just wake up in the morning and you could decide who eating and who drinking and who you could cut off and who you can't who you don't want to cut off.
mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
Right,
Imagine that. And this is why now again, when you're saying the point you're bringing out, driving it home, that this place was created for us, and we could go into the records like we're doing and prove it. And the scripture say, prove all things, right?
right,
And seeing a people or a nation running this place in righteousness, then you will see these set of, as you say, the turmoils, these hardships, or what we would call, oppression really taking place. And it's like, hey, because you had a control or had a power, it show you how, power is not shared. And this is why, again, scripture say, when the righteous in authority, the earth will rejoice as well. Everything would be at peace. And now we see
right,
now, just as I just say, one man holding that power and he could decide, well, hey, he using that power to kill, steal, and destroy. The scripture say that. That we using that for. So that's it.
right. I mean, look at him just decide that um Hamas and Hezbollah is terrorists.
Right.
If him decide that, I
uh,
start bringing them out,
uh,
He,
uh,
the United Nations says West Bank that belong to the Palestinians. Now he decide that he want the West Bank and start clear off people off of the West Bank. He single-handedly making those decisions, and who is there to punish him? Which
right.
is which is why when you read the scripture now, the Most High speaks so heavily against him, because really and truly, the Most High is the only one who have authority, who have power over Israel.
Right.
Why? because he's blessed with the sword. So, I
Right.
mean, unless you have a bigger sword than him, you can't talk to him.
Eh,
What bigger
uh,
sword can you make more than the nuclear bombs?
mm,
And
and
watch you know,
yeah,
Kim Jong-un have nuclear bomb, but they are find other ways to punish him. Just lock off
mm,
him food, lock off him light,
right.
lock him out of call it civilization. Right? So this beast where it is over the earth is reigning with ultimate authority. And for most of our people, they realize that, but they feel helpless and they just accept it. But we in the truth now, we go through our records, which is the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, and the Holy Scriptures are the holy records, is showing us that yes, he is this way, but the Most High is the one who have the power over him. And for you to get the Most High to act in your favor over him, all you need to do is to keep these laws. Right? So
Right.
that is why now the Most High is telling you now in all the book, even when we're reading right here,
Right.
right? We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6. We're in the book of 14. We're in the book of Isaiah 14. All right, we're reading verse 2 now. And verse 2 this is telling you that the, the people, which is the people of the Lord, who is in captivity and being oppressed, is gonna gain and is gonna gain the upper hand of the oppressor and shall rule over them. So we in the truth now knows that if the Most High say it, it's gonna happen. So we bank our faith in that. And so, well, the most we can do then prepare for rulership. All right, so verse 3 is saying, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up these proverbs against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. So in other words, his oppression over us and ultimately over the entire earth is going to cease. And who is going to put it to cease? To see who is going to cause it to cease? The Most High. Verse 5. The Lord hath broken, see, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So here it just tell you, that this thing is going to happen. You'll have to read other books. The Most High will tell you how it's going to happen. And I think right here, I'm telling you too. The oppressor seized the golden city. Verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. I mean, look at us. There was slavery for what? 300 and something years. Immediately out of slavery, they realize we are rising. They come up with Jim Crow law. Realize the people still rising. They come up with, they make a direct hit on the various cities that we were, our towns that we were striving in. Today, Chinese them have what they call Chinatown, which is a section wherever in America, more than one place, controlled by the Chinese. They call it Chinatown. Bottom to the nigger town, where all the business there and the land and the buildings controlled by our people. They directly remove those things. Rosewood, um, Black Wall Street, just to name a few. And we learned about one the other day in Carolinas. I think it was either North or South Carolina. I forgot the name what they call that one. That was one which, history had forgotten and somebody going the records. It was there people still, but went in the records and bring it back out. Or they changed the whole political landscape of that town. I keep forgetting the name of that place. Right? Through violence. So here our scriptures is telling us that he smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none in the earth. So that when their time come to fall, there will be no one to stand in their corner and back them. There is none that prevent them from going into servitude. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So everybody, every nation will be joyous when this beast is subdued. That's what it is saying. This person here is saying that our slavery as African people is more than 6,000 years. Well, not true, because there was time. And a matter of fact, first of all, we are not Africans. The Africans came through Ham. They are descendants of Ham, and they know that they are Hamites. So the Africans spring from Egypt, Libya, Canaan, Ethiopia. All them African nations, as you see now, is either a crossbreed between them or a tribe from one of these other African nations. We came through Shem, so we are a Shemitic people. We're not African. We were among the Africans because we were hiding from this bastard here with the name Rome, who strike us with a continual stroke. And it's not 6,000 years. It's not so much. Nobody can withstand oppression for 6,000 years. We lucky we survived the 250 years. Our I don't know if we're still in servitude, but I'm talking about the period when we were approximately almost 300 years or 250 years in chains. So, I would like to see them or another nation survive that.
Yes, so like if I may.
Go on.
Yeah, and this is something that, as we say, all people keep getting caught up in as well now. Because a lot of them don't even know the history 6,000 years ago. And then now, to even comprehend it, when it really coming out, is like, you know, they even looking and they even coming up against you and telling you, well, hey, you wasn't there back then. But now we drawing reference to that history 6,000 years ago. And you can't even understand the time frame, we coming off a cargo slave ships. And this is why, you see that fight, or even the mindset of us, this is why,
Mm-hmm.
we need to sit down under righteous black men, to sit down and be taught where, we could be able to really understand and really give we spirit that food or that reviving, nourishment that it need, which is, a family. And without a family, you could never be nourished. And we have lost that sense of being family. This is why now we full up all kind of we see, all kind of poison. The poison are talking about the doctrine and the philosophy of the society. So it poison with spirit. We want to talk about 6,000 years ago. We don't even understand the history 6,000 years ago, right? And still up to today, we still identifying or deeming ourselves to be somebody who is not. Yes, like it.
Right. Hey, Shalom, Officer Arayala.
Yes,
Yamashina Shalom.
yeah.
Shalom, Madawani, Yahweh Shai Brakatah.
Yamashina Shalom.
Yeah.
Right. So we have our people being so misled in thinking, and as a matter of fact, they don't even know that the Africans was one of our persons as well.
Right. You're in modern day now, as you say, you have Google, you have everything before your hand. And when you Google it, it's like every time the don't feel like Google it, it's just that how the poison of the society or what they hold on to, they don't want to let go. This is why now again the scripture talk about severing. We must sever ourselves from these cultures. If we don't do that, we just, as we say, just draw we down more deep and more deep into, as you say, inside the ways, inside the customs. And to let go it, the only way, as you say, we can be removed from that. The most side God, as I said, our Father, he just had to do what he had to do. That bell just had to come down. And when that bell come down, that is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Lord. And this is our one. Imagine you have a big brother and you tell, hey, don't do that, when daddy come through. Your cocktail book, so don't do that. No, I mean, and you're so rebellious and you're so stubborn, as you say, in your ways. It's just you're thinking that, hey, nah, it ain't go be like that. But you don't get the warning. Daddy come in. He say don't do that. He say don't do
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you were warned. Don't do it. There's no African nation that can tell you that they have writings like this or warn them against anything. And
Right.
it's not only Africa. No other nation do have these things. And which predict them coming back into rulership.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Our writings tell that when Christ return, them the Africans will be recognized as a nation, but they'll be given a status.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But the thing is, no nation will be in any sufferation like it, well, maybe except for Esau, like what the earth is going through now.
Mm. Yeah. Because imagine now, as the scripture say, he's going to set everybody in the own land. Just as you rightfully said. So now what I'm showing you, you can't venture into our next man quarters just to. You have to stay within your own quarters. And anytime you do so and you venture into our next man quarters, then now what the consequences are your actions. Again, it could be, you can face certain consequences. Yeah. Yeah, yes, like I said, like it drop off.
Kind of cancer.
Uh, okay,
Signal,
and
sir. It must be a signal, sir.
okay, okay, yeah, and you know, just again, he bringing out some very valid and important because now this is something that we need. It's something that we need, and every day we will keep on echoing and keep on bringing that reminder out and telling our brothers and sisters, hey, all come to class. Don't feel that this society, like or have compassion over all there. Everything with them just do, them just only do, as you say, to feed off of you until they actually get what they want. And when they actually get what they want now they're going back in the ways. They're going straight
Mm,
back in the ways. That's why it always say it never trust the enemy. And that's something I will always, you know, hold on to, growing, as you say, coming up in this truth under commanding general and a righteous black men above us, teaching us, hey, only beware, don't trust the enemy. They always have that way, as you say, or that sly way, and again it trickle down through, as you say, or as you said, that deceiver. So now you learning deception, and you being not part or of a bloodline of a nation. This is your way. This embedded in you. This
that's
embedded in
right.
you. That in your that as I said, that in your root. That in your root. So in order for you just have to stay in your line. That's the reality. Stay in your line. Stay in
Right.
your line. You belong to the East Indian, the Chinese. Stay in your line.
Right.
Stay in your line. Because now you know coming out of line, this is where we at right now. And again, we being the people with that compassionate spirit and that only, let me say, people with that sense of compassion or choosing or having the spirit of the Lord, and we end up in situations where it could have been avoided in many ways, but because our customs and culture, and we thinking that we could save everybody. The reality about it is like everybody go get handled, but you stay in your quarter, stay in your bung, don't come out your bung, or
Right.
they'll get handled, or just stay in your bung. Anytime you come out your bung, now you're looking for problems or you're going to cause problems.
That's right.
And this is why every time we bring out on this, there are a lot of, as you say, right now the earth, as you say, at war, and we already get our own, and we already bring in that one. And now it's going to get more intensified as this time go on, and as things start to stop, the Most High God moving these heathen them spirit in the direction that they would be pompous and prideful, and we're seeing it daily. Even where we at right now, in Trinidad, in Jamaica, in the UK, we're seeing the spirit of the heathen and them pumping up more and more and more and having again that hatred towards black people. They're in a conflict with our next nation, but when they see you, it's like the spirit turn 10 times more, or the hatred 10 times more than would a ha to do that person. So it's like, hey, let me take out some of this on you. So now this is why now we always tell brother, beware, be aware. Don't take
So,
nothing slight.
so like you
Yeah.
say, for me,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, that's real deep and real heavy, sir. What you're touching on there, because if the oppressor never had that perpetual hatred that you're talking about for us, he would have recompensed us a long, long time ago. Because if you look throughout man's history, every nation that has been hard done by or ill just their treatment couldn't be justified at a later date have been recompensed in some way. Our nation are the only people that went through 400 years of rape, rob, pillage, a total destruction of a people, chopping our feet off our ankles so we couldn't run away from plantations, locking us in sheds, setting Dobermans, Rottweilers, their dogs. There's 3-4 dogs at a time to shred us from limb to limb, hanging us from treetops. And we're the only nation that these atrocities happened to and have had have not been recompensed in any way or form whatsoever. So that shows what you're talking about, sir, and what you're touching on. Their hatred for us is perpetual and it is everlasting. That spirit that's in them, that wicked spirit that the oppressor holds, will never go away against us.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wait, so Lucky, I don't know what happened for it. The system just shut down. This wasn't the internet, it just shut down.
Yeah, well, as you say, we already know the whole concept when there's truth going out, as again, the record say, when the word go out, he say immediately the deceiver come and try to take it away. A lot of people viewing and the chiming in and the listening. But again, Satan have a job despite our ever. And we have a job, and this is why now again we're going to continue doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is raising or reminding our brothers and sisters just as we were reminded. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Hey, Officer Arayala, you touched a point a while ago. I have a point. You know, recently there was they have a Commonwealth Summit. You know the Commonwealth. If I hear about the countries of the Commonwealth, those are the countries which once formed a part of the British Empire. Now they had a summit, and I think it was BBC or one of them stations. There was not even an apology for slavery in the summit.
So like yourself, for me, that's pride. That's pride at its highest levels, sir.
Yes, man. Full of pride. And that is exactly what the scriptures here is talking about. We're in Isaiah 14. If we can find that, we're going to read now pick up from verse 7.
Khan. The book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 7.
14, not 14.
You want chapter 14, sir?
Khan, it's Isaiah 14.
You want chapter 14, sir? Salakia.
Khan.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Right. So this is after the oppressor has ceased and him stop rule things. The end down to the earth will feel good. Verse 8. Next verse.
Officer.
Next verse.
You want me to read it again, sir?
Next verse.
Khan, you just cut out, sir, for about 20 seconds. Verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
he freeze. It look like his internet freeze up.
God, one can, sir. You want me to read it again, sir?
Yeah, please, Baba Kasha.
God, one can. I'll start from 7 again, sir, and read it through. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Verse 8. Hey, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fella is come up against us.
Yeah. So like, yeah. My earpiece just thing. Just give me 1 minute, Baba Kasha.
God, what God.
You can. Right. What you could do in the meantime, you could go ahead and get a little breakdown by the time Baba Kasha. Right?
Salaki, sir, you broke up. Can you say that again, please, sir? Babu Kasha?
What saying you could go ahead and give it and get the viewing audience the breakdown in the meantime, Baba Kasha.
God, one can, sir. God, one can. Okay, so we read that again. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest. Self-explanatory. So the whole earth is at rest. We have peace and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. Now, I've never broke this precept down before, so I'm going to let Officer Sawapa Allah or Officer Abadawan break this down. But let's go on to verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, and fellow is come up against us, since thou art laid down. So this is our plight, Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians. This is talking about our plight and our situation that we are in today. And aforetime, this kingdom that we reside in today is our living hell, showing you that there is no place called hell, no physical place that we're getting sent to, like we're taught in the Christian church. This is talking about our plight. Let's read it again. Verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Okay, I've got a breakdown of this, Salakia. But once again, I'm going to leave this breakdown for Officer Sawapya Allah or Officer Abadawan, because I'm not 100 about this. Let's read it again. Verse 8, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Now, according to that's verse 7, 8, and 9. According to our plight, Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians, we're the only nation with a covenant with the Most High God. And just to touch on, until Officer so up your Allah and Officer Abadawan come back into the stream, we're going to kill some time with a couple of other precepts so I don't touch on their topic. Okay. It's a scripture breakdown class. And I think there's some technical issues in the stream. So what we're going to have a look at until the...
Shalom again. Sorry for that breaking transmission.
So like it's, I was just going to go into a couple of laws until he came back. Officer Sawab Ya Allah asked me to do a breakdown of Isaiah 14 and verse 7 and 8. But I didn't want to give a breakdown because I wanted to hear your breakdown because I'm not familiar with this precept, sir. So I was going to go into a couple of laws, knowing that it's a scripture breakdown class, and I do the law class in the UK. So if you want me to read Isaiah 14 and 7 again, sir, I've got it for you.
Yeah, go ahead, 7. Pick up from 7.
Khan, Khan. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Right. So you see, this is what will happen when the Most High has broken the staff of the wicked, right? And take the wicked out of, take the earth out of the hand of the wicked. And this is what is going to happen. Even the earth is going to rejoice. Read on. Verse 8.
So like you, sir, if I may.
Yes.
So verse 7. So verse 7, the whole earth is at rest. What's Isaiah talking about here, sir?
All right. When you read verse 5, read verse 5.
Verse 5.
Yes.
The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Yeah. Kind one kind. Salakia, sir. Yeah. Me understand it now.
Right. And if you read
I get it now, sir.
If you read 4, it is telling you what is going to happen to those that are in rulership at in these last days, which is supposed to be Esau. But
Kind.
it's only God can break them rulership, you know. Only God have the power. Because no man no have. You see them fight each other, and this one have a bigger weapon than that one, but it's still Esau. If you notice the Chinese have weapons similar to them, but Chinese weapons them don't always work. As a matter of fact, the Chinese planned a missile drill. I think it was late last year or early this year. They planned a missile drill. They were supposed to do some training with their missile and thing. And a lot of the missile never fired. Guess why? Guess what happened?
What happened, sir?
The Chinese, a lot of them, they scrap the missile parts, them thief out the fuel and put water in a tanks.
So like you say that again, sir?
They scrap some of the missile parts and then thief out the missile fuel and put water in the tank. So a lot of them missiles couldn't work. And these are missiles which they're supposed to have on standby if they should get attacked, you know. So I'm just saying that You know, no nation is actually up there to really test, to really challenge Esau's rulership. It's only the Most I have power over him. All right, so you say you get that verse what we at now, 8.
So like which verse, sir?
8. Pick up from 8 now. Next verse. You know, every time it's the next verse in chip out. All right, verse 8. Let me have to read it. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. So in Esau's rulership, even the trees is having a hard time. Well, you hear it. Every deforestation, these logging companies stop at nothing. The Most High saying, when he removes Esau, even the trees will rejoice from him not being in rulership. That's how much of a terrible ruler he is. That's how much of a terrible ruler Esau is. All right, so welcome again to some of my TikTok viewers, MacGyver, Sealan Lawrence, Ajaganja. What a name. Welcome, welcome to our live here on ISUPK Jamaica. All right, so, we're having some online issues here. Let's read up and see how it goes. Hey, welcome back, Officer Sawap.
Yes, like I said, yes, like I was just driving there. So the thing was in and out, in and out. I was saying.
Welcome back, Officer Arayala. So,
God, answer. I don't know what's wrong with the internet, sir.
Man, Esau control it, and Isaiah was speaking again. So that's how it is. Right, and so you want to pick up from verse 8 right away before we chip out again. Officer Arayala.
So, like you said, if you could repeat that.
You want to pick up from verse 8?
So, like can you repeat that, sir?
Pick up from verse 8.
God, one can. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Right. So, like I was saying, even the trees will rejoice when he's not in rulership. Even the trees will be saying, "Ah, rest, finally at rest, can get to grow in peace." And of course, you have heard of these logging companies, right? Overlogging, you know,
Con, con.
cutting down too much trees and all that. Verse 10.
Con, con.
Sorry,
You want
9. 9, 9,
verse
9.
9, sir, verse 9.
Right.
Con, con. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Right. So everybody is going to turn against Esau. Now, what can
Right.
happen? What can happen that is going to push everyone to turn against Esau? It's not far fetched. I mean, if you look at the Gaza war, you see some of this very European countries them speaking out against the Israeli now. You know, Macron from France start saying that America should stop sending weapons to them.
So like
You
you
know,
said, me,
yeah.
how hard would it be for the other nations to turn on Esau when they already have started to turn on them one another themselves already?
Explain what to me.
Well, they're at war with them one another. Russia's at war with the Ukraine. NATO
Right.
don't know whether to get involved. England don't know whether to get involved. America don't. America are supplying weapons, and they don't know whether to pull out or go in deeper. They've got a hatred for Russia. Russia's got a hatred for America, and and the thing is that we should never forget is this world was handed to the wicked, which is Esau. They've damn near destroyed this world. They've mashed up the ozone layer. They've polluted the skies. They've tried to block out the sun. They've made certain species extinct. They've chopped down the rainforests. They've damn near destroyed this creation that was not meant for them in the first place.
Right.
So how difficult would it be for the other nations to stop being so blind and see who the real devil of this wicked kingdom is, as we know it, the devil that the Bible speaks of?
Well, they see and they know, but Esau control their economies. And as the saying goes, he who pays the piper calls the tune. You know that saying?
Khan.
And Esau is the one who is paying the piper. And Esau is the piper as well. So it's difficult because even the Chinese, as rich and as successful as the Chinese might look, the Chinese economy is probably about 70 to 80% intertwined with the American economy. Everything that they make in China goes to America.
Right.
So it's not, even though they see it, they're trying to pull out like now. They form the BRICS nation, which they want to trade in their own currency. Every nation trade to their own currency. Think if you are able as a nation to trade in your own money as opposed to you have to go and buy US dollar to trade in. That now force you to know because you have to buy US dollar. You have to now try and bolster businesses inside your country that is going to bring in US dollar, like tourism and certain other things. Tourism is the main one. And a lot of these countries know that it's very tourism that is causing. They come in, these spies come in the country as tourists. They know that, but they can't stop it because they want the US dollar. Countries that are able to stop it, like once Cuba, North Korea, but look at their economy. They're doing it to the detriment of their economies. The rest of the countries in the world, they can't afford to lose out in their economies that greatly. So they go along with it. But they know that Esau is the devil. They're just being politically correct. And to show you that they know all of them have Israelites in their country. And all of them oppress the Israelites that are in their country.
Mm.
So I tell you that they know who is who.
Right.
China have over 1 million Israelites in Beijing right there, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and they are the driving force behind their economy, but they don't tell us that. They don't put that forward.
Can't.
If you should go to Beijing, you will see them, and you see them working, you see them on the street, hustling, bustling, just like in America, just like in the Caribbean, just like in the UK. You see the blacks, you know, the children of Jacob, who are the backbone of the Western economy and of any vibrant economy in the world. They are the backbone. But these countries denied. They pay them cheap labor. You know, they treat you like you are not desired. But they know that you are the backbone of their economy. And to show you that they know, the other day when COVID and they had to shut down America, when they decide, all right, we're going to restart the countries, it's the countries that have the most black, the states that have the most black country, they were the first to go out to work. And if you remember, the blacks in America were saying that they're sending them out because they want to kill them off. But they didn't know that they were the backbone behind the economy. They had to go out first so that monies that made in these states could generate. Is it any state in America that is a white majority and it's pure white people? It's not financially viable, you know. They depend on monies from the states that have the blacks, Hispanics, and Native.
Right.
One of the richest states in America, California. California was Mexico, you know.
Right.
So, which means there's a whole lot of Mexicans in California who one morning just wake up and hear that they're not Mexicans, they are Americans. The status changed overnight.
Right.
And they weren't deported into Mexico. They stayed because America know the economic possibilities from these people. Look at California today. Texas was also Mexico. Look at Texas today. And then you have the old slave states, Georgia, Carolinas, and so on. So all the top states in America, they know that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native are the ones driving these states. And other countries who have done their research know. But they want to build their economy. So what they do, they go along with it. Which is why in Revelation, all right, find for me in Revelation, the kings of the earth that have drunk of the wine of her fornication. We can find that. Remember Revelation 1.
The kings of the earth is what, sir?
Has drink of the wine of her fornication.
The pure river of life.
No. It is talking about Revelation 18, 3 to 5.
Oh, Babylon is fallen.
Yeah, man. Revelation 18, verse 3 up to 5.
Babylon's iniquities. The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Right. So, what is that wine of her fornication? Of the drunk, the king, all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed all the kings would have committed fornication with her.
Well, Salakia, sir, well, the drunk of...
And the merchants who have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. Right? It's saying the same thing, showing that the groups of people who have benefited from America's oppressing us. I can name one right now, the Israelis.
Right.
Another one, the Ukrainians. Right? China benefited tremendously. Chinese make things.
Salakia, sir.
Yeah. And carry to America.
Salakia, sir.
I didn't get that.
Salakia, sir, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just the beneficiaries of our labor, sir. We've got to look at history throughout history, the 12 tribes of Israel, because the same, I don't know what they teach all around this world, but I imagine the curriculum is the same in Jamaica as it is in Barbados, as it is in Trinidad, as it is in Antigua, as it is in the UK, the USA, and all over Europe, that we've got to remember that Paul wrote letters to Hebrew Israelites 2,000 years ago. He wasn't writing letters in the New Testament. He wasn't writing letters in Greek to European Greeks. Right. So what they teach in secondary school in the UK and all around the world, which is part of their curriculum, is that the Greeks took claim for building vast cities, concrete jungle. The Romans took claim to inventing roads to the world. But these roads and these cities that the Greeks and Romans that actually built these vast cities and these roads all around the world were Hebrew Israelites, sir, and not the European Greeks and Romans that have took the acclaim for these things. So it's not just the modern day beneficiaries like the Israelites, Salakia, like the Jewish man or the Israeli man, is the ancient Edomites as well, like the Romans, the Greeks, that took claim for our labor. We built roads all around the world. We built roads in Europe. We built up all the concrete cities. When you see these ancient castles, the generals came over, sir, last year, as you know, and we went to King James Castle in Edinburgh. We built that castle, but the ancient Edomites took claim for these ancient castles that you see all over England and the UK. And the roads are another example, and the cities. what we call now as concrete jungle. Salakia, sir.
Like, but pause up again or you drop?
He's just gone off, sir. We was talking
Okay.
about the beneficiaries of our labor, sir.
Right. Right. And again, every point or everything that has been brought out again is to the beneficiary are we, just like you're drawing reference to, and to highlight where we are right now and where we was and where we are right now. So now when we look back at all these, as we say, empires that we built, now we will understand, hey, being together or being a people or a nation, how much more, could be done, by us just, gathering together and gathering together in one spirit, and that spirit is spirit of the Most High, and our King
Right.
Yahweh over us, right?
Right.
And that's why when we just draw reference to the Revelation 18, you already read it already?
Salakia, say that again, sir.
The Revelation 18 and 3, where you read it already?
Khan, sir. Officer Abadawan wanted me to read verse 4 and 5 also, sir.
Okay. You want to get Bible, Kusha?
Khan, the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
And just like what we're bringing out right now, we're telling brothers and sisters, hey, to remove your spirit from America, to remove your spirit from England. Don't get caught up down here in Trinidad. Don't watch everything that you see and feel that, these other nations have a care about you. Because why?
Right.
The Most High God has always been a father to us. And we know, being, fathers, our children, our household, being a hedge and a protection, we were reminded to do the same. Now we can read Revelation 18 and, it echoing the same thing. Hey, son, don't go there. Daughter, don't go there. Because the consequences are you ending up picking up a gunshot or picking up STDs. It's very high. It's very high. Because why? These other nations don't, give a damn or don't have a care in the world about any other thing but their own self or their own belly. They're only seeking to build off of you. So why we telling brothers and sisters to move spirit from America? Because America showing me every day what they can do to us when we put spirit in it. And we seeing that example daily. England, Jamaica, Trinidad, we seen it daily. So it says, come out of my people and do and that ye receive not our plagues. Because why? Something is going to happen. Go ahead, Abu Kesha.
Khan, verse 5.
Go ahead after about it.
No, I was just saying that I'm back. Yeah. I don't know, the system just trip again.
Yeah.
Continue, man. Continue.
Continue.
Khan, verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
Where the sins? Go ahead. Where her sins has reached?
Reached unto heaven.
Right. Go ahead.
And Yahweh has remembered her iniquities.
Because why? Because any father, when that complaint comes, he go remember it. And this is what happened, because the Lord is a father to us. Because why? When we read Genesis, what he do to us? He say he raised us from a low state. And the way he do, he breathe the breath of life into our nostrils. Now, what happened to us? He gave us his spirit. And the spirit that we have
It's the spirit that we father. And this is why we always talk what is right. We do
That's
what is right, and we will continue to walk in that right footstep.
right.
Because why? We are what? Are the salt of the earth. And anytime, as I say, we lose we savor, wait is good for to trodden on. We see we have been trodden on for over 400 years. Now it's time for us to wake up and to come back to these instructions that we Father laid before us. These laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
Khan. That's it, sir. Verse 5, 3 to verse 5.
Right. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I think that you can jump in there, Sabado.
Right. So I mean, that is Esau. And the interesting thing about this Bible, no one book give you the fullness of everything that is to come.
Right.
Just like he had said, I think it was in the same I am when he said Isaiah when he said, here a little, there a little. Meaning
Mm-hmm.
he's going to give the fullness going to come out, but not at once. Tell you a little now, so him tell Esdras some, him tell Isaiah some, him tell Jeremiah some, him tell Ezekiel some. And then in the New Testament, who get a good portion? John, the Revelator, in who write Revelation. Him tell Paul, Peter, and them when they were around Christ, they learned according to their era, right? John the Revelator now reveal a lot as to what was to come after that period of time with Christ. And hence we have Revelation to look at now and to help us to understand this city that is ruling the earth that is called Babylon. And it is telling us that this is not a city that we should get our spirit. Don't get your spirit caught up in this city. You will lose a soul.
Right.
Because, I mean, there are riches and things, but just like he said, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose him soul? So there is riches there to gain, but there's a 90% chance that in gaining her riches, you are going to lose your soul. And what is going to cause that? You might end up have to do something against the Most High's people. You're either going to sell them drugs, you're either going to oppress them, or something. And that is going to cause you to lose your soul, because if you notice the punishments in the Bible, that for the other nation, the Most High plan to mash them up and punish them because of what they do to his people. So we shouldn't do it, because he will destroy us just the same.
Right.
And I'm referring to riches. I'm not talking about, you and I going to work and we manage to own a house or two or even 10 houses. That is nothing compared to the riches that you can have in this kingdom, The riches in this kingdom is riches that you can run a country, And I'm talking about you running your life. You can run a country from gaining riches in America. As a matter of fact, look, take for instance Jamaica and the Caribbean that depend on the US dollar. For you to get the US dollar, what you have to do? You have to sell something to US, get their people to come and visit your country, as in tourism. Right, those are riches. But, I'm not speaking against we going out to work and getting paid and maybe having a business or two and gaining something and enriching a person. That's not what we're talking about here. What the Bible speaks against is the kings and the merchants. What the merchants do? them big ships and things. How many black people have any of them ships here running container loads of things on a regular basis to or from America? I would like to see the blacks that is so employed. The blacks that we have in America who are billionaires, they become billionaires out of them own pocket, sorry, out of them own talent. And what you are seeing now, many of them getting into trouble, as in P. Diddy, right? Why? Because he went and put his soul, he put his spirit in the kingdom and start doing the things that he learned in the kingdom. But if you come in the truth, come learn on the commandments in early on, you're going to realize that you should pull yourself from this kingdom, right? And then you're going to realize by pulling this yourself from the kingdom, the kingdom is going to fall. And that is how you know is going to rise. But many of us look and say, by the time that you have me whole and probably whole and dead. Well, God tell you that He's the God of the living and not the God of the dead. So because you pull yourself from it, He will bring you back if sickness or whatever should take you out. Right? And many of us will be able to walk into the promised kingdom and to now rule and to then rule over our oppressor and gain true riches. One in which we do have to sell our soul. We're doing what the Most High said we have to do. We're keeping His eye holy days, eating the food that we should be eating, right? And doing what He says we have to do. Keeping His laws and going right back to the laws. All right, so we're on past 5, almost a quarter past 5. So any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Whether from in the class or online. Any question, comment online here from TikTok? We're about to close out. All right, so, yeah.
Psalm 126, verse 2.
Psalm 126, verse 2. The book of Psalms.
What's the precept, sir?
Psalm 127 and 2.
Khan. The book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 2. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so He giveth His beloved sleep.
All right, let's see what it says in verse 1.
Khan. The book of Psalms, 127, verse 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain and build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain.
All right, so what verse 2 is telling now that you're building riches, you're building your gain. Let's use the word gain. You working for gain, you building gain, but you're not doing it as with the Most High as a foundation. You are doing it in vain. So how you going to build it? Same way, you rise up early, sit up late. Brother, or eat the bread of sorrow now. The people them who you oppress. but you're not doing this as with the most as a foundation. So what is going to happen to the gain that you have? It's going to come down to naught. In the same way that the riches in the kingdom of Babylon, in the Babylonian kingdom, is going to come to naught. I mean, many of it is going to transfer to the Most High's people, but many of it is going to come down to naught. Right? So that is what it is talking about. It is vain for you to rise up early and sit up late, eat the bread of sorrow. For so he giveth his beloved sleep. This is talking about the person working for gain, but not doing it with God as their foundation. Understand? Does that answer the question?
I'm just thinking, sir, is there any relation between that scripture, that verse of scripture, the Proverbs 24 and the last two verses?
If there's a precept, if Proverbs 24
And the last two verses.
and the last two verses in Proverbs 24, if it's a precept to that, let's see what it says. Proverbs 24.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse
33 and 34.
Proverbs 33. No, Proverbs only goes up to 31, sir.
Proverbs, it's chapter 24, you know.
Yeah, that's all. The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 33. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
Next verse.
Verse 34. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man.
Nah, the one before in Psalm is talking about you working for gain, but you're not using God as a foundation. That will come to naught. This one is talking about the lazy man. This is talking about someone that is lazy. Not a relation. So this one is telling you don't be lazy, while the next one is telling you say, while you're not lazy and you're working, make sure God is in your vessel, so to speak. How you put God in your vessel when you're working? The laws. The laws. Some places you go, you see them pray every morning and them keep them devotion before them open them place. But during the day, them work totally violates God's law. That is not God in the vessel. If you want to put God in the vessel, Him give you some law. Follow them. Follow them as right down to the T as you can follow them. Right? When you come into you're a black Hispanic or native, you come into the school and you get the understanding as to how to keep these laws. When you go to church, they tell you that no man can keep the law. But the first person to tell you that no man can keep the law, who is the sinner? I know. Who is the one that knowingly breaking the law? Am I not sleep with somebody, woman, or in doing unlawful things where in conscience is going to bother him? So just tell her, first give up. No man can keep the law. So because he's not keeping it in peace, no man can do it. All right, so with that, we pass the class to Officer YAHANNA. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer and the curfew.
Can't. Clap it up. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the word. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 month period in which the brother and sister shall court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, means a tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ayah Shara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations, the Feast of Tabernacles, Thursday, the 26th of October. Remind our Kamanakwa to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we're going to read the Lord's Prayer, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. Men of Israel, I Madium. So, we're going to turn and face the east. Abanoah. Shabbat Shemayim. Kwadash. Hayat. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwatka. Saba'ah. Ratazaka. Haya. Aisha. Baharataza. Kawa. Haya. Bashamayim. Nathan Lanoah. Lacham. Kal Yuam. Wasalak Lanoah. Kawab Was Noah. Kasalak Noah. Kawab Was Yanoah. Wala'a. Sabaya Noah. Banasaya 1. Abal. Our Shai Noah. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwath. Waha'Allah. Wa'atapa'arath. La'ai walamyam. Aman.
In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts.
as we forgive our debtors.
Forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power
Thine is the kingdom and the power
and the glory,
and the glory.
forever so be.
Forever so be it. Amen.
Prayer for curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
To the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets.
To the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
And shake loose the treasure
that refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Pasikomatazi.
Pasikomatazi.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marine.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet and the airways.
Internet and the airways.
The cable access channels and the radio channels.
Cable access channels and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
And stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
Stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief.
House of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel.
Let Yahweh Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens
that come up against us as we speak thy word.
That come up against us as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh, I thank you always, so be.
In the name of Yahweh, thank you. So be it.
All right, just close out now.
Okay, we're gonna give Officer Abadu one courtesy salute, men of Israel. I Mariam. I Mariam Shabbat. I Mariam. Rak. Yehovah Hashem Yahushai Brakatah.
Yabashim Rashai Bakatam.
Yad Yamata. Sa, which means turn and face the sisters. We're gonna give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel. I Mariam. I Mariam Shabbat. I Mariam. Rak. Yehovah Shema Eladan Hashem Yahushai. Yad Yamata, class dismissed.
All right, so
THAWADAH, the one.
come on, shalom again.
Shalom,
THAWADAH.
Yahweh Hashem Brakatah.
Yabashim Rashai Brakatah to you. And Yabashim Rashai Brakatah to our TikTok viewers. We say shalom. Thanks for being here.